Greetings everyone, a warm welcome to you all. Hey, thanks for joining me. Namaste. Capricorn, this is your reading for September 2018. Welcome into the new seasons coming around the planet, either spring or autumn or fall as we call it in some places. We have just come out of a really intense eclipse season with 3 eclipses making it a holy trine as such. So a lot of people will have been affected at various different levels. It was also a time where there were 5 or 6 planets retrograde, and there were a lot of kind of shadow past energy or thoughts or events going on around us. So anyone might have been occupied or caught up in some of these feelings or energies. This month we are using the Celtic cross, so we're going back to the basics. And just before we start for you Capricorn, I did some intuitive work and you received these messages. The number 10, which is often about karmic completion. It sort of suggests that you may have successfully ended a lesson or a cycle or cleared a contract or debt from a past karmic, sort of tie-in. This could refer to a challenging situation for some of you that you have recently conquered, or it could be around an individual or person that caused you pain or an effort or something negative in your life. You won't have to repeat this particular karmic lesson again in your life. That is the general symbolism and the meaning of the message that came through. So some of you might feel a sort of a lightening of a load of somewhat, or feeling a relief of pressure, or feeling that you may be on a new road or a lighter road. And we'll see how that sort of pans out. But anyhow, with the shuffling underway for Capricorn for your traditional Celtic cross for September. The first card is you, now, and the heart of the matter. And we see there this ecliptic moon at the bottom of her feet. She is the High Priestess, of course, a major arcana. The second card is what challenges you or a blockage. The third card is your conscious goal. The Lover's card. The fourth card is an unknown influence around you. Now already I can see that we have a lot of major arcanas out. You have 3 in a row here, which is quite a strong profile. The 5th card is the unknown influence. The 6th card is the approaching influence. The 7th card is the inner resource or talent. The 8th card is or how others see you. The 9th card is your hopes and or fears. And interestingly enough, this column here holds all the financial cards or pentacle cards. And the last card is the outcome card. I think you can see that, guys. However, I will just move the camera a little bit and bring in a slightly closer focus for you. We may be about to get a little visitor across the screen. Hello, darling. This is Ella. She is a very new kitten to the house. She's a Tonkinese breed. Now, she's kind of someone that came about through the eclipses, actually, and she arrived in the house on that very last eclipse day, which was kind of about the final shadow energy and moving on from that. So there's a bit of a story connected to Ella, but anyhow, she is in the room, and she's in the room with another little companion, that's Stevie, so they may make a bit of noise and play up, but anyhow, we'll see how it goes. Their energy is still lovely to have around. So coming back to your reading, you guys, the very first card, which is you and the heart of the matter right now. If we move this card here, the one above it, so you can see clearly, the High Priestess is very much about feeling connected to a bigger picture or an expansion in life. So being able to feel that esoteric or galactic or light type energy moving out from just the world and into space and into the galaxy, and understanding concepts such as collective consciousness and synchronicity and higher perspectives and dynamics. She, the High Priestess, holds a book on her lap, the Torah, and she's very aware of those types of principles in life and that type of metaphysical realm. So there's a possibility that some of you have really become either intrigued with this, or you're awakening to it, or you are practicing it very well. Now, it's also about connecting with our gut instinct and becoming more psychic, obviously, and more, sometimes you might receive messages through your dreamscapes, sometimes at night, which is why the moon might be in the actual card. We also see the moon up here on her head, which gives me the feeling that these eclipses that have just been may have given you quite a bolt or a jolt or some sort of like electrical current or surge that may have awakened you or headed you on this new journey. She feels quite knowledgeable, she feels secure, and she feels safe. She's also very feminine, so she balances the feminine energies in life, and she also has a degree of physical attraction. So some of you might even feel as though there's a physical chemistry or attraction around you, or that people are attracted to you in this manner at the moment. And of course, right above there we have the Lover's card, which emulates that whole feeling as well. So that is kind of the heart of the matter for right now as September rolls in. The card that crosses you, or it's a blockage card, and wow, you know, the more I looked there, the more I saw we have another moon, an ecliptical moon, and we have another kind of ecliptical looking moon over there as well. So the moon seems to feature fairly well in your September reading. I'm wondering how many of you will find a personal change in direction around certain events or strategies or ideas or projects for you guys. Almost as if there might have been a blockage, but that it's moving on, that you feel a freedom, or that something positive is coming, or a change of some sorts. But that card that's blocking you is the Two of Swords, and it's known as the card of indecision, almost as if there are two possible options that you could take around something and you're not sure which one to take. So you're applying either rationale or reason or logic, or trying to communicate to find a way out. The hardest part when we come to situations like this is actually not taking action. Sitting there on the fence in the middle trying to say, should I or shouldn't I, or could it or might it, or would it have, or, you know, what if. If you don't do something about that, that's often the worst scenario, because there are possible opportunities here that you are letting bypass you by being inactive, by not being able to make a decision. So if there is something that you need to decide about, start applying some really firm logic, like write up a sheet and put reasons for doing it and reasons for not doing it, and then write down those reasons, and one proposition should stand out at a more logical pathway than the other proposition. There's also another way, a thing that you can do, which is completely irrational, but it actually works at quite a subconscious level. Let's say you're saying to yourself, should I take job A or job B? So you get a coin and you prepare to flip it. So you might pick heads for job A and tails for job B. And you flip the coin, and whatever one it lands on is the option that you have to take, because that was the strategy. And the minute you look at the coin, if it's say tails, which was job 2, and you go, oh, you already have your answer. You didn't really want that one. You actually wanted job A. So that's another way of kind of connecting with our subconscious. And it's actually really accurate, because it's that first instant gut feeling or thought that comes to you after you look at the answer, and it's an answer that you haven't been able to choose yourself. So moving on to the third card, which is the conscious goal. So that's the Lover's card up here, of course. Some of you may be consciously wanting to attract a new partner in life. Now this can be a new romantic partner, and some of you may be looking for like a really deep inspirational relationship with a soulmate or a twin flame. Some of you may be contemplating that this is the partnership for a business. because the Lovers card can represent that as well. So if this is your conscious goal, set some energies out there to the universe to manifest it. Manifestation of our desires occurs when we're passionate about it and when we direct energy towards it. Some of you might be wanting to reinstigate your current relationship and bring it back into the fold of harmony and adoration and respect and intimacy. So that could be another perspective or dynamic. But it's certainly a beautiful thing to be focusing on, the energy of love and harmony and balance and, respect and trust and nurture in life. Those are all the things that we're here to engage in. The fourth card is your unknown influence that could be coming or could be around you. Now that's the Hermit card, and again it speaks to us of enlightenment, a little bit like the High Priestess who is just above him. He holds that lantern which has a star in it, and he appears to be in the dark up in a mountain somewhere. It's often heralded that he has spent time alone in meditation, a little bit like Buddha might have done, and through that isolation or time alone, where he has had ample time to think about his propositions in life or his directions or where he wants to go, he becomes enlightened on his pathway. He is then able to make decisions unlike this one. So again, that might be a message or it might be an answer for what's blocking you. To utilise this unknown influence of meditation or spending time alone, which might be able to help you become more decisive about something. So some of you might feel like you've been through a lot lately, or you wanted to change direction or bring new projects about. And sometimes that does take us to these places of change. Stevie! To these places of change where we hibernate a little bit or we retreat within ourselves. Because we can often find that our own energy, our own thoughts and our own input into solutions or situations is the most powerful. Don't be afraid to utilise the Hermit's grand energy and spend a little bit of time alone and really put it to good use with things like meditation or yoga or dietary change, listening to perhaps people who could be like a mentor or philosophers or something along those lines, because this may be very beneficial for you in your pathway forward as the year keeps moving on. The fifth card is a past influence, and we see here the Eight of Cups. It's quite often it talks about a relationship that may have been unbalanced one way or another, and that you are preparing yourself to walk away from it. So there's a possibility that you've invested a lot of time or energy or nurtured it over a long period of time, but somehow there still remains this instability or imbalance within this relationship. Now, oftentimes these are personal relationships around us. They can be family or friends or work colleagues, or it can be a situation such as a career or a job or a place where you live or a community or a belief system that you follow. It could be anything along those lines as well, where you're sort of saying, I'm just feeling as though I've put a lot of work in here and I haven't received, the right heart energy back, the right connection, the right love, the right respect, the right input. So there's a possibility that some of you will be preparing to, walk away. And this is why it says past influence, because this could have been going on for some time. And as you turn your back and walk into a new direction, you let go those energies, relationships and situations that no longer necessarily suit you. We come to card number 6, and this is the approaching influence. And this is where we start to get into all this money kind of thing going on here for you Capricorns. Of course, Capricorns are known to have kind of like a wealth vibration in the background of them. They're not often really struggling with finances in life because you guys think about it. You work logically and firmly, and you accrue finances at a steady pace over your life, and you're quite often very good at investing them or putting things away for like a nest egg. So the Queen of Pentacles is very much a Capricorn energy. She is an earth sign person. Now this could have something to do with your finances. It could be that your finances are becoming more solid, more structured, more accrued. Some of you may get an increment or an increase with your finances around this time when the Queen of Pentacles turns up. Some of you may be investing, or you may have returns coming, or something like an inheritance, or you may have purchased something and be selling it and make some money on it. There's a lot of different perspectives that this could be fulfilling in terms of where the card sits, but it's very positive. It's a positive energy card. She may also be symbolic of someone coming into your life, so this could be another earth sign person who some of you meet. It could be tentatively the Lovers card person, so this might be a romantic relationship that comes into your life. Or again, she could be someone like a new boss or employer, or a mentor around money, such as an accountant or a strategist, or someone who gives you information pertaining to finances, career opportunities, or investment funds, things like that. The 7th card is the inner resource or talent. I've just had to tell these two naughty little babies off in the room. They're creating havoc at the moment. So back to card number 7. Hey. Slow down. Stevie. There's all sorts of kitten and puppy tup games going on. The inner resource or talent. This is a wonderful card, and it's in a great position. That 3 of Pentacles often refers to being, rewarded with something, or given some sort of accolade or improvement or qualification coming your way, or a raise, or an awareness of your dedication to work and your knowledge and your learning and your scholarly abilities. It often refers to the number 3, so this could be occurring for you in 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. It could refer to 3 people as well being involved in the situation. So, and it is often about success in and around your career or your finances sector. For some people, this is the acceptance of a degree, like the end of a degree, or an award for something that you may have done, like a project, and it's been finished and completed. It may have been published, or it may have been accepted by people higher up in the organisation where you work for, or it might be a charitable work, even something like that. But it is a really positive card, and as I said, there's a whole lot of finances, especially around here, that bode very well. This one is a little different. We'll get to that when we head up there. Number 8 is how others see you at the moment, and again, they see you as possibly thinking of or pondering about money, or having some sort of stability in and around your finances, perhaps as someone who does work hard and diligently. Some people could see you as a potential person to learn from around money, either what you do with it, how you spend it, or how you save it, or how you've got to where you have with what you have. So there could be people looking up to you and saying, yeah, you're not doing too badly. I wonder if I could learn something from you, or I wonder if you could teach me something, or could I borrow some of that money? You never know. There could be other people who you might be going to borrow money from, and they are checking you out, like a bank manager or a lawyer, or somebody. You might be thinking of purchasing a new business or starting off something new, and you need to uplift a loan. And this could be the people looking at you saying, okay, yeah, I think we will give you this loan because you seem to have a safe enough foundation. We come up to 9, and we see that this could be your hopes or fears. And again, we're kind of sitting there on the money thing. Some of you might be worried that you have the potential to lose your money, or you're thinking, have I invested it in the right area? You might be sort of thinking that things are a wee bit tight at the moment as well. So for some of you, if you've just recently bought something or invested in something, you might now feel a bit stretched with your finances and be thinking, God, now we're going to have to budget. I have to cut something out, or, I'll have to sell something else to meet the ends, to pay the bills. So for some of you, you could get an unexpected bill turning up in the month, and it's been like, darn, that's put a spanner in the works. There can also be, if this is your hopes card, because this can be hopes or fears, it might be that you're saying, I hope I don't end up in this situation. So the thought to take from that is to always focus on what you want in life, not what you don't want. The universe is a very simplistic tool in reality. It only responds to what it's given. It's a little bit like a baby. You know, if you have a baby in your arms or in your home and you give it love and nurture and you feed it and you keep it dry and warm, it responds with happiness, and it's a much sweeter sort of creature to have in the home. But if you starve it and don't feed it and leave it in the cold, and it'll get ill and it will become despondent and very drained and crying all the time. Well, that's exactly how the universe works. So if you feed the universe with all this fear and worry and like, oh my God, I'm not going to succeed, I have no money, my job will be hopeless, I can't win, that's what you'll get back. It's that simple. Yet so many people fall into the trap of allowing those thoughts to perpetuate their way forward, that they end up in the very situation that they fear. So if this is a worry of yours, focus on the positives, focus on the things you most want. And I can't reiterate that enough to people. It truly is relatively simple to direction and to format and to structure your own life and to head it forward. Yes, we will all go through periods where things aren't right and there are glitches and we have to work really hard to get from A to B. That's life. That's what's called living on this planet. But we can always use our own thought patterns and our own vibrational essence to try and direct our future into what we want. So just remember that one. This can also be breaking up relationship issues. So some of you might have a fear or a worry around a relationship that might be teetering on the brink of needing to be rescued or needing some input or some love and tenderness around it. So again, use the positive input and really sort of nourish it, and do the same as I was suggesting that you do with a child, and see if that can heal any relationships that you are trying to save. The last card is the outcome card, and this is the Three of Cups. Again, this is a card that most people really enjoy having in a reading. It's happiness, it's gaiety, it's celebration, it's friendships especially. So there feels like there's a connection of unity around you with friends in your life. These friends could be family members, or they could be friends, or they could be workmates, anything along those lines. Now often they are females, so if you're a male watching this, you could have females in your life that really play an important role. And again, if you're ladies, you may have there could be three of you that go on a get together, and sometimes this literally is blondes, dark-haired people and brunettes, or strawberry blondes or redheads mixed into that as well. These can be happy events like attending engagement parties or summer soirees, or going on a holiday or a retreat or a school reunion or a family reunion. Any of those type of events may be taking place that become relatively significant for you in the month of September. And if it's not a specific event, it just feels as though friendships and happiness are the prosperous ending of your reading for September, so that gives it an overall buoyancy and positivity and support and network to your reading. So there we are, Capricorns. Thank you all for joining me for this. I trust you've really enjoyed it and you've found some insight which might help you deal with situations coming up in September. Remember to check out your moon and rising signs, because you might find interesting information within those as well. And I love it when you leave your comments and when you sub the channel. It's really good. And remember to push the little bell next to the sub button, because that way the bell will alert you whenever I do new uploads, and then you won't miss any. This month's uploads are really slow. I've just been quite busy with personal readings in between doing all the channel readings as well, so it takes me a little bit longer. And I've also been a little bit under the weather for some days, on and off, because of the eclipses, I think, with that strange energy that was going on. So thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful September. Much love. Namaste.